Hangman Page out of Double or Nothing, Shawn Spears in Double or Nothing, and the latest details about the AEW Championship next on the Squared Circle Psychobabble. Hello and welcome to the Squared Circle Psychobabble. My name is Michael Valenti. This is Ralph Valenti. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. And before we start this show, we want to thank everybody for helping us reach our goal of 5,000 YouTube subscribers before All Elite Wrestling, Double or Nothing. I got to be honest, heading into May, Ralph, I wasn't sure that we were going to hit the goal, but our subscribers helped us at the end. So
yeah, definitely a big thank you to anybody who subscribed or shared this on social media, because without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible. So thank you.
Yes, definitely thank you on that. So let's start with the last bit of news that we'll have going into Double or Nothing. And we'll start with some sad news. A lot of people speculating on what's going to happen with Adam Hangman Page and his match with Pac. It appears that, in fact, the match will be canceled. And Hangman Page going on Being the Elite, a special episode this week, saying that his knee injury that happened during or after the match against Pac is forcing him to not compete at Double or Nothing. So maybe this is a way to work in the storyline with Pac, or maybe this is a way to have him in a surprise later on in Double or Nothing. So how do you interpret what we saw today on Being the Elite with Hangman Page?
So I definitely don't think he's out of the show entirely. I think he's going to have a match. I think that the knee injury angle is just that. It's an angle to pretty much, set it up so he's involved in the show one way or another. I want to believe he's going to have a match, and then there'll be with somebody who comes out, whether that be John Moxley, somebody of that caliber. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. Because it really would be disappointing to see somebody like Hangman Page, who's been so involved with this whole movement in All Elite Wrestling, not be involved in their first show. Certainly, it's not going to be their last, but I would really hope that somebody like him is involved in at least their very first show.
I would totally agree. I think this is smoke and mirrors for something that happens at Double or Nothing. Personally, I think they are going to use him in the Casino Battle Royale as a surprise, possibly even Lucky 21.
Okay.
Now that we know that Shawn Spears is in the Casino Battle Royale, they showed him on Twitter drawing his card. He draws the 10 of diamonds. I do not see, obviously, Shawn Spears would not be the surprise that people are expecting now. He's already announced, so he doesn't draw 21. He draws the 10 of diamonds.
Yep.
So that's out. CM Punk is doing something with MMA commentary in Coachella, California. Too quick of a turnaround for him to be in Las Vegas at 4 and then go to his event at 6. It could happen, but still,
I doubt it.
Way too quick of a turnaround, so that's not happening.
Like we said, CM Punk, he's such an established name. If he's ever going to make an appearance, I don't think it's going to be in something like that that's on like a pre-show.
Right. I know some people said, I guess he took a picture of him on a plane and saw a dry mountainous scene, which could happen to be Coachella, California, but of course it's also Las Vegas, Nevada. So of course the people are speculating that he was taking a picture of Las Vegas when really he was just...
People read into that stuff way too much.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So going into, the Casino Battle Royale, there's really not any other surprises. I mean, you never know. You could see something, but at this point, I think we will see Hangman Page in the Casino Battle Royale and possibly winning it. I know we already made our predictions for Double or Nothing. You have Brian Pillman Jr. winning. I have MJF winning. Now that we know what's happening with the AEW Championship, and for those that don't know, here's how it's going to work. The winner of the Casino Battle Royale will face the winner of the main event of Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho to crown the first AEW champion. Now, if they go that route, do you want to change your pick for the Casino Battle Royale?
I mean, it's probably going to be unlikely a guy like Pillman would face Jericho or
Omega,
only because he's he's still an up and comer, and he's not necessarily signed exclusively to All Elite Wrestling. So I'm sure it's much more likely that we see somebody like Hangman Page, assuming he's in the match challenge for the title, especially because if we go back to when this originally was rolled out, that it was rumored or at least suggested by Hangman, I believe that, Hangman and Pac, they wanted that to be the heavyweight championship match.
Right.
So, if anybody is certainly credible enough to put in there against Jericho or even Omega, it's going to be Hangman Page.
Right.
So,
I mean, it seems too obvious that Hangman Page will be a surprise entrant, end up winning the Casino Battle Royale. And, with this being possibly the first match of the night, one thing that people have been hating on with WWE is their predictability.
Yep.
Do you really want to start off saying you're an alternative by doing something that WWE has been scrutinized and criticized about for years, and that's being predictable?
Right.
So, you want to push Hangman Page, and you were pushing him to be the first AEW champion, but I think I think some people will obviously understand and forgive it if it's a good moment, but at the same time, you will get people already complaining, hey, this is predictable. If I wanted predictability, I would watch WWE.
Yeah. It's kind of like holding the last spot in the Royal Rumble. I think the year that everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the Royal Rumble,
it was Rey Mysterio.
And everybody crapped on it. As good as Rey Mysterio is, I remember everybody having just this negative reaction. So it's kind of like if you don't have somebody lined up in that position, whether it's lucky number 21 or the last guy in the Royal Rumble, if it's not a major surprise or somebody returning, it's always going to be a letdown. So I don't know. I don't know how people are going to react. It wouldn't necessarily bother me if it was Hangman Page, especially because it would play into the fact that, he's got a knee injury, he's supposed to be out, he's not going to be competing, and then if he ultimately makes an appearance and competes in this and wins, that might be enough to swerve people. But again, to your point, do you really want it to be where it is somewhat predictable?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is one of the biggest issues that people complain about WWE is that it is very predictable.
Right, of course. And, there are other ways you can go about this. We know Shawn Spears is in it, so and I know he's doing something with MJF, so is the storyline now that MJF will eliminate Shawn Spears or the other way around, and then neither one of them wins the Casino Battle Royale? Is it a surprise, or is it going to be like a Joey Janela or someone that, might get a push, but isn't necessarily announced for the Casino Battle Royale, like, let's say, Darby Allin, who's not officially in the Casino Battle Royale as of this recording, but could be in and maybe wins. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I know Darby Allin is set to have a match against Cody Rhodes, so they must feel obviously comfortable enough to push a guy like that in a match with Cody Rhodes so soon.
What's going on with Joey Ryan?
Joey Ryan, we don't know. I believe he is making his announcement May 30th on what he's doing.
That would certainly be interesting if he was the one to come out. But
yeah, obviously he wouldn't be the one that wins.
You never know.
Joey Ryan versus either Kenny Omega or Chris Jericho.
I'm just saying. The reason I don't think it's going to be somebody like Shawn Spears, for example, is because they were always so adamant that we're not just going to let other WWE guys come here. And now if they have him win, it's essentially like you're pushing one of the guys that was in WWE. So I think that it's more likely you see somebody like a Hangman Page or somebody outside of WWE win that match.
Right. No, of course. I totally see. If it's not Hangman, it's definitely going to be someone that not many people know and they want to push. And what better way to push them by winning a Casino Battle Royale and being in the championship match against either Kenny Omega or Chris Jericho, right, who are obviously well-known names in the wrestling community. Jericho is definitely a well-known name outside of wrestling with all his different things that he does with podcasting and music, and had his, he's hosted game shows and been on That Metal Show with Eddie Trunk. So, the name is definitely one that people know. So with all that said, going into this episode, your prediction was Brian Pillman winning the Casino Battle Royale
Right.
against Kenny Omega. If we went by the new news that we got, I have MJF versus Chris Jericho. Do you see, or let me word this better. Which of those two matches would you be more enticed to watch?
I like both of them, but I definitely, I think that based on what they've done with MJF, it's much more likely we see that.
Mm-hmm. I could totally agree. But the problem is MJF is a heel. Jericho is a heel. I know
According to them, that's not supposed to matter. So.
It's not supposed to matter, but again, you need some kind of, you're going to have to work some storyline where fans have to choose which one they like. It's, sometimes you get a situation where you have to pick the less of two evils, and people would rather not do that. Whereas if you have babyface and babyface, that's an easier thing because it's like, oh, you like this one just a little bit better than the other one. When you have heel versus heel, it doesn't end up well.
Right.
No matter what situation it is. And yes, it's supposed to be more of a sport than a soap opera, like they said. But eventually, you are going to have heels and faces for people to root for and to boo. So, and that's why I am going to change my prediction for the Casino Battle Royale. I don't see MJF winning now. I think him and Shawn Spears will cancel each other out. And I'm going to say that Hangman Page is a surprise and ends up winning. So we get Hangman Page versus Jericho for the AEW Championship. So, but it's going to be a fun night Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, I hope that it is everything they're promising. I hope it's completely different than WWE. If what All In if that was any kind of prelude to what All Elite Wrestling is going to be, that it's definitely a promising start for them.
Right.
I'm excited to see if there's any surprises throughout the night. Yeah,
Cody did say, or at least hinted, that there will be a few surprises for Double or Nothing. Yep. And he just did an interview with Chris Van Vliet talking about Double or Nothing. And, he did also mention or speculated that this could be Dustin Rhodes' swan song. So, if it is,
going to kill the Attitude Era.
Going to kill the Attitude Era. And the way that, Goldust is just was one of the big pioneers of the Attitude Era with his character, something that was way ahead of his time. Yep. So if this is his last match, what is the Goldust legacy?
I was always a big fan of Goldust, and I always feel like they definitely could have done more with him. But I think even for that time, even for what they were doing during the Attitude Era, it was even at that point too much for some people to accept, and that's why they really had to kind of tone down the character. As far as what he was, the character itself to me was great. I always was a big fan of his. I think his legacy within WWE will stand the test of time. He's one of the most iconic characters ever to come out of WWE, if you ask me. So I don't think, no matter what happens in the match with Cody, I don't think anything that can come out of that is going to hinder his legacy going forward.
No, definitely not. I totally agree. When it comes to characters, the Goldust character is one that is going to be talked about for years to come.
Right.
Definitely ahead of his time. I think in today's society, you could still do it. And in a way, they are doing it with Velveteen Dream, in a way. Not to the extreme androgynous as Goldust was, but there's a little bit of hints of it with the Velveteen Dream, and you see it with other guys. But he was always a decent wrestler in the ring, and definitely when he had his comeback in the early 10s, I don't know what exactly you want to call them, from like 2010 to 2013, and he made that Royal Rumble return, and he looked really good. He kind of rejuvenated his career a little bit, and I think there's something left in the tank for Goldust.
Even some of the stuff that he did with Booker T, that was obviously one of his best runs.
Yep, definitely. And that was a guy that, he always was able to adapt and change his character in a way for people to enjoy it at all times. Right. And that's hard to do And especially for a character that debuted in 1990, was it 95, 96?
It's around that time.
It was definitely around that time. I think it was 90. Well, yeah, because Razor was still there, so it had to be 95. So here we are in 2019.
One of the matches that I remember just for its sense of realism was the Hollywood Backlot Brawl with Roddy Piper. And when he hit him with the gold car, that was always, and I remember Piper's knees bleeding. Little things like that. We always talk about the moments, and that's one of the things that's always going to stick out to me. So, like I said, no matter what happens at Double or Nothing, Cody Rhodes, he's on this quest to kill the Attitude Era. I do think there's going to be a lot of symbolism in that match.
Mm-hmm.
I do expect Cody Rhodes to go over. But no matter what happens, Goldust is its own separate character, its own entity within the WWE. It'll stand the test of time forever.
Yep, definitely. Let us know what you think of everything that's going down before Double or Nothing. Will Hangman Page appear in the show? In what capacity? Does Shawn Spears end up winning the Casino Battle Royale? Who wins the first AEW Championship? And what is the legacy of Goldust in your eyes? Let us know in the comments below. Share this all over social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at SCPB Podcast. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Again, thank you all for helping us get to 5,000 YouTube subscribers before All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing. For Ralph Valenti, my name is Michael Valenti, and thank you for watching the Squared Circle Psychobabble.